Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Kelly Watson, and I'm going to be your professor for the course this semester. So I wanted to take this moment to say welcome to the course and to introduce myself and give you a little background and a little background about the course itself. So first of all, I'm an alum of LMU. I did my EMBA here in 2006. I know that dates me. Um, I am a clinical professor here, so I teach organizational behavior. I teach strategic management. I have taught international business. I've taught in the EMBA program, and I've taught some technology courses, a course in using VR in the workplace, and also run a VR lab here on campus. So I do like to explore VR as a technology for learning. So that's just something about me. I also run a consulting company, and it's called Orange Grove Consulting. We do organizational behavior stuff, employee engagement. We do assessments of organizations. We've done training and development for leaders. We've run year-long leadership development programs for companies. And all in all, we're really interested in improving leadership and behaviors in the workplace. So of course, that's my area of research interest as well. Just some personal stuff. I'm married. I have three kids, three adult children, and all three have gone through different colleges and are studying different things. None of them business, so that's interesting. I'm originally from Canada, as is my husband. I have a PhD, but it was an executive PhD program that I completed at the University of Denver. And so very similar to your DBA experience, where I was completing that PhD as a practitioner and working at the same time. And I was actually teaching as an adjunct at the time. So I kind of had all three of those disciplines going. We went to class online Tuesdays and Saturdays, and then flew in once a month for in-person immersions for 2 days, for all day Friday and all day Saturday. So somewhat similar to how you're managing things at the moment. So I think you'll find that I can certainly understand what you're going through and can empathize. It's a lot of work. So one of the reasons I think that I was asked to teach this class was because of that, because I can empathize with what you went through. And also because this class is going to kind of, as a colloquium, be an intersection of the three disciplines that most people who are getting a DBA or an executive PhD are interested in. And that is the teaching realm, the publishing realm, and particularly publishing in practitioner journals, as well as the consulting realm. I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to apply my doctorate to all three spaces, and that's been super interesting. When I started my doctoral program, I knew that eventually I would like to transition to teaching full time. I had thought that it would be down the road more, and luckily had an opportunity at LMU to step up full time a few years ago now, and that certainly was accelerated by my doctorate. And that's been great. I also, of course, still am in practice doing my consulting, so that makes for a very busy schedule, very busy weeks, and I certainly don't like to waste time. And then what is interesting is I didn't think that research was something that maybe I was interested in. To be honest, had written 2 books already and didn't think that I needed to write anymore, or that if I was going to do it, I would like to know what we were doing, because we were engaging in research and not really realizing what the methodologies were and things like that. So it was super helpful. I thought maybe I might write a book again, but what I actually got interested in because of the program that I took and learning about research is that I actually like it. And so now I have a bunch of papers in progress and some studies that I'm focused on. And so I think it kind of sparked that interest for me. So I'm kind of doing all three, which is not, of course, what everybody wants to do, and that's okay. But it has given me hopefully a perspective that can be helpful to you throughout this course. All right, so let's get started. I first want to I want to share the learning objectives of the course, just so that, yes, and of course, then I shared the wrong thing, because I think that it's important to start with what it is we're trying to get out of this course, or what you hope to get. So I want to set expectations. So hopefully by the end of this course, you'll be able to apply some of the advanced pedagogical strategies that you're going to learn to be able to design and deliver engaging and learner-centered content suitable for higher ed or professional training. And that professional training piece is important because you may not have any interest in teaching in higher ed. I hope you do, because I think you'll be a very valuable addition to the field. But even if you don't, this type of adult learning and learner-centered strategy will be important for professional training environments. And I think almost everyone in practice has to at some point train another adult in something that they know a lot about. So hopefully you'll be able to pick up some strategies and some techniques that will be valuable in that respect. The second learning objective is to be able to critically evaluate and more importantly, synthesize scholarly literature so that you can translate those insights into guidance for practitioners. So whether or not you want to publish in practitioner spaces, which again, I hope you have an interest in and that you would do at some point, because I think that your contribution and your ability to take this academic literature that you've now learned how to read and synthesize and translate that for practitioners will be really, really important. But even if you don't end up wanting to publish in those spaces, being able to convert this knowledge is going to be absolutely critical for organizational decision makers and leaders. When you think about the practical space, a lot of stuff out in the ether is frankly garbage and unproven. And yet it becomes lore, or it becomes something that people parrot around based on, who has the loudest voice, or who maybe spends the most money to market their stuff. And so I think that being in this program, you've learned now the difference between some of that rubbish that's out there and actual scholarly, studies and research. And so it's important for you to be able to help us bridge that connection to organizations and to practice. The third learning objective is about, being able to do this research, develop meaningful workplace questions and apply, the frameworks and the methodologies that you've now learned to be able to hopefully do some research yourself and contribute to that literature. And even if you don't end up, turning a study into something that's publishable in a peer-reviewed journal, I hope you can, being able to, convert those research questions into meaningful studies that then translate into actionable things for practitioners is a really great skill and is really valuable. So if you're already in practice and you're either consulting or even working for an organization, you now have all of the tools to be able to use the data at your fingertips to actually synthesize new information and new learnings that you can, take action on with credibility. Having the methodologies and having that PhD or that doctoral degree behind you is really, really credible compared to some of the other ways that data analytics gets done in workplaces. So I'm hoping that you'll all be able to do that as well and be a really valuable resource and help your organizations do data better. And then obviously I'm going to want reflection. So one of the learning objectives is to be able to reflect on your personal growth. I'm hoping that now that you're kind of halfway through your DBA journey, it's a good time for you to start to think about, what am I going to do with this? And what have I been able to synthesize from here? So engaging in that reflective practice to be able to identify areas for continued professional development for yourself so that you can maximize the rest of the DBA experience as well. And then finally, to develop a professional portfolio or a personal development plan that sort of showcases what you can do and where your areas of opportunity are for the future. So something that supports your long-term advancement and helps you focus in on the things that you really still want to develop if you want to go into one of these three areas or all three of them as a graduate of the program. So I hope that helps set expectations about what we're hoping to get out of this program. I do want to give about even time to each of those three disciplines. So the course will be divided approximately into thirds. And we'll start with teaching, and then we'll work on converting academic research into practitioner insights. And then in the final part, we're going to do a little consulting project that'll give you an idea of some of the ways that you can apply your DBA to consulting. I'm obviously interested in all three, as I've said, but I'm hoping that even if you think today you're not interested in one of these three areas, that you will give the rest of us the grace to lean in and learn what you can anyway, because you never know. I mean, I was approached to teach full-time, didn't know that was going to happen. I, got excited about doing research, and now I'm really glad that I paid attention in my methods classes, because I'm doing research and I'm having to think through these processes a lot. And, obviously in my consulting practice, I thought I would wind down at this point in my life, but consulting is busier than ever, and I'm getting more data intensive projects now that I have this degree. So yeah, I just ask that even if you think you're not going to be in a space, that you definitely lean in and give us your full energy and attention. And I hope that you'll be able to take something out of this that's meaningful for you, regardless. All right, next thing I want to focus on is how you will be evaluated, because I know as students, especially high performing students like yourselves, you care about the grade. So let me talk about that just quickly. We're going to have a number of assignments. There's pretty much an assignment every week or every other week. And as you can see, they're small. The first one is going to be a little reflection, and it's worth 2.5%. And then it goes from there. The biggest assignments, and I've even tried to chunk apart some of the bigger assignments so that you get partial credit as you go, to really, number one, focus you on pushing through and getting the deliverables in, because each of these are going to be, contributions to your grade, but also to reflect, kind of what are the most important things. So if you have to miss something because of work, and I get that, you'll see you can make those choices. You can look at this distribution here and decide, okay, I don't need an A in this class. I'm going to not do this piece or whatever. But this will at least show how I've sort of thought about this. And you'll see that the bigger assignments are, a team teaching demonstration. So this really synthesizes what you've learned about creating and delivering a teaching module. And if you were going to go into teaching, you may be called upon to actually do a teaching demonstration. So hopefully you'll have the tools after having done this assignment. Similarly, if you're going to write for a practitioner journal or source, you will likely have to provide a proposal, and you may even have to, at a conference, present that proposal. So that's why a practitioner or article proposal outline and then a presentation are the deliverables for that section of the course. And then finally, the client presentation that we're going to do as a video, but that is, obviously something that's important as well, that you be able to deliver and synthesize all of your data analysis to give insights to a client that are meaningful. So that's why that is where it is. And then week to week, even if there isn't an assignment to hand in, there will always be some kind of interaction, whether that's a discussion board post or you're supposed to go to YouTube and watch some videos and then comment on them in YouTube itself, or whether you're going to respond to something in Padlet or post something to Padlet and then comment on others. So that and showing up to the synchronous sessions, as well as participating actively, are all part of that last 10% grade. So I hope that that is also helpful for you in prioritizing and managing your time. It's going to be important to do all of the things that that are asked of you each week in order to maintain success in the course. Now, everything in the course is available in Brightspace. There should be nothing for the course outside of Brightspace other than YouTube. But when you have to post something in YouTube, there should be a link for that provided back in Brightspace. So Brightspace is your space where you're going to live for this course. And I'm just going to show you an example of what each week looks like. So, for example, here's week 1. The learning objectives for the particular week are also listed here. That will be the first section. The second section is what you'll need to read for the week. And there may be 1 or 2 articles. Then you'll need to watch something, interact, and where you're going to need to do that, and then what you're going to submit. So all of that is in the header for every single week. It should be very clear what is expected. You read this, you watch this, you interact in this way, and you submit this. And then down below that header will be the links to all of those things that you're going to do. So you'll just need to click on the link. Now, for the assignment itself, you will go to the assignment section in Brightspace, and the assignment will be listed there. In addition to a summary of the assignment, which is also in the syllabus, there will be a rubric for every single assignment. So you will have no mystery as to how the assignment is going to be graded and what components are worth more. Some things that are really important will be worth 20 or 30% of the points. And the things that are less important will be worth less. So again, if you're having to punt on an assignment because, again, work is just too busy, then you know the part of the assignment that is the most important and that's going to get you the maximum points. And then you're going to make trade-offs. So that's how you'll be evaluated and where you'll find the information. All right. I want to talk about the use of AI because I may have a different policy than others in the past. So because of the amount I'm asking you to do in this course, the use of AI will be required. You will not be able to be successful if you don't use AI. So AI is your partner in this. But here's the rule I want you to use AI with which you can use AI in this class. And that is the role. Pretend AI is your personal thought partner. Okay, so AI is going to take on a persona, and it's a person, and that person is going to help you through these activities. That person may be given tasks to go research something for you, to help you draft an outline, participate as your thought partner as you're thinking through methodologies and all of that. But like a person, they cannot author a paper if your name is on the paper. So if you're doing a reflection, it cannot be AI that writes your reflection because that's your reflection. It's a personal reflection coming from you. So you may not use AI for that. If you are creating an outline or you're creating something and you ask your thought partner for advice, you may not just cut and paste their advice and submit that. Their advice informs your ultimate submission. But if AI is going to do the work, then AI is going to get the degree, not you. So I want you to think of that and use it. I mean, I use AI every single day. I've used AI significantly in developing this course, but I've used AI as my thought partner, not as my, do it for me. And there's a lot of reasons why. I'm not asking you to do something for the most part that AI can do better. What I'm asking you in all of these assignments is something that AI can certainly inform and help save you time in doing, but certainly can't be, the scholar for you. Okay. I hope that makes it clear. Again, I've been around this business a little while, and I'm pretty savvy at reading something and knowing whether or not that is a student's voice. So I would highly encourage you to, if you think you've beat the system so far, it probably won't be the case in my class. But absolutely use AI, because I don't think you're going to be able to be successful in this class if you don't use AI for your thought partner. So I hope that that is informative and helpful. So overall, the best way to be successful in this class is to do the work that's assigned, participate with all of your heart, and we will work together to make you successful, and also to ensure that you get the most out of this class, because that's certainly my goal and certainly the heart that I put into it, to hopefully make this fun, enjoyable, and highly valuable for you as you continue through your doctoral journey. So fabulous I can't wait to meet you in person. And again, just my privilege and honor to welcome you to my class. See you soon.